Let's try to get Nana in. Nana, send me a request. Hopefully the line is clear now.
Alright, good.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, but let me try and get the headphone because my cousin was telling me it's not clear. Give me a minute.
Started.
Hello, Mr. J. Balan. Hi, Vani.
Let's see.
Then Mr. Sweet. Yes, Vani.
Alright. Is it clear? Can you hear me clearly?
I'm still getting messages saying that it's bad.
Is the sound better though? Is the sound on my end better?
Yes, you are clear.
Okay, you want to start again?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we've already answered. I mean, we've already gone through the first question, which is where we were during the announcement and everything. Now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Were you prepared in terms of informing your clients about your orders? And was there going to be when you knew there was going to be a delay?
Yeah.
How did you transpire that to your clients, and what was the reaction from your clients? Were they going to be, did they understand it?
Yeah.
Or did
Yeah.
they need time?
Yeah. Like the transition for Rotan Lot was because I was looking for weavers then, right? So we made an announcement previously that we were going to close the shop for appointments for about 5 days before that. So customers who wanted to come and see us to have a look at the products and everything, they said that okay, after 5 days then we'll come lah. So when the announcement came, that was within that 5 days when we said we were closing. So when we came back, we got messages like, hey, how is it affecting you? Everything is closed already. We all cannot go out and everything. So my customers were already mentally prepared that they can't come out. So they were just double checking with me that, oh, is it affecting you? Like, I think it's more like asking me, this whole thing is real. Are you in this part of the world where I can't go and see you as well? That kind of thing. And then after that, the second question would be, are you guys still operating online? So at that time we were in fact up to now we're still taking pre-orders, but the way we function is we can only tell them we can deliver after MCO, because initially we looked at IKEA was still doing deliveries. We were a bit scared because I was warned by our forwarder, because we are operating in Malaysia, right? But then our workshop is in Jakarta. So my container for the new pre-orders and new stocks can't come in, because if the containers are seen on the road, we were told that we were going to get fined 30,000 ringgit.
Oh, yeah.
So that itself, I was thinking, then the smaller products macam mana, like the one-on-one order, how are we able to send out or not? So we just waited for a bit, and then IKEA announced that even they stopped, because we're all worried that if, let's say, just one infection, the trail back would be a bit scary, because you don't know where the driver has gone, because we use third-party drivers, and then after that the products, we can spray all we want with sanitizers and whatnot, but then if we have one sick customer, then the thought is scary.
It goes down.
So that's why and thankfully our customers, they understood lah. They said, you know what, it's MCO, it's okay, I'll wait it out. But the thing that affects is usually after the second announcement of it being delayed, that is when people started holding back and saying, you know what, we'll just wait out for this MCO. But we do still have customers who order, but then most of them, because they don't know when the MCO is going to end, when they're going to get the product, so they say, okay lah, tak apalah, we'll wait. So we're also fine with that, because I find it, we're also fine with that, because we don't know when this is going to end, and we don't want to hold the pre-order money so long. So like
what I gather, there was something very interesting that you mentioned just now, that customers were still buying it from you, even knowing that what the situation is going to be, and your thing, which is coming back to my side. Let's just say I've got amazing set of clients lah. Like most of them, sama kepala, and they understand.
Yeah, this is the time to book Sheeny, because during the normal times you can't book her. She's fully booked. So actually, right, your customer should get you now. They should book you now when you are stuck at home.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So coming back to what you were saying just now, I had a few customers, a few clients of mine who I spoke to them and I said, listen, even if there's going to be a lockdown or we are observing this MCO period, there's a lot of things that we can still do, which is designing. Construction need to start. See, this is where designers like us take this opportunity and this time to really design and give them the best of work. Because on normal days, we are always 24/7 is never enough. We are always go and take a longer time to design, because, for example, from my point of view, when I design something, I improvise my own design. So when I design a particular living space, most of the times that's not going to be the design that I want. I will exaggerate, I will keep changing it. So with this ample amount of time that I have in the house, I've got a couple of clients who already signed me up, and I'm actually working the designs from home.
And I bet your designs are better now, isn't it? Because you've got the time to actually think about it and everything.
I hope so, but that does not mean that my designs at the back were not my 100%. It's just that when I did it during my work time, I had to take a longer time.
Yes, that's right.
I can do it a little faster, but still, having the best of designs. But see, we are pretty lucky in the sense that our clients actually do realize that no matter what, when everything comes back to normal, they still need to order furniture. They still need designers like me to design their homes. So why not use this time to design, improvise, change whatever you want to change.
Yes, that's right.
Study what you're given with, and then when everything is good to go, you start construction. That's what I tell my clients. So I'm pretty blessed. Just like you see, clients are still ordering from you. I'm pretty blessed that I still have. I think I've got about 4 running concurrently at the moment, and then the hotel was put on hold for a bit. But we'll continue after the MCO is done now. However, having said that, it's not going to be easy when we go back. It's just not going to be, okay, ban is lifted out, we go back to start and start working. No, it's not going to be like that. We are going to be facing with a lot of clients who are going to tighten their strings.
That's right.
The first string. And many of them are going to think many times whether they need to spend that amount.
That's right.
So there is no plan for it. We cannot predict what's going to happen. We cannot predict whether our clients are going to do so. But what we can do is always be prepared to give them what they want, and they can make a decision whether they going to buy this piece right after lockdown is over or whatnot, or they're going to take the time to buy it, because a 3D is forever. It's like a guidebook. It's like a pamphlet or a brochure that you keep, that you can always refer to. You see, because most of my designs are contemporary, and it's always going to be current no matter when you start to design your house. It's like the furniture, you see, it's eclectic. Those who get it. The niche market get it. So you're always going to be in demand line business at some point. It's going to go down, then it's going to go up again. It's going to be like that. Okay, I believe you have one question for me.
yeah, like with how do you what have you like during this time, right? Like how do I say like things have got to be different already lah. Like I think since the second announcement, I think everybody has synced in that things are going to be different from now on. It's not going to be the same anymore. How do you think you're going to operate from this, from this round on, like in terms of ID and everything? For me
Shini is on
personally, I think
Instagram
like
interview
if
on
let's say
the
I'm a customer, right? Getting hold of
okay,
Shini
I'm
before
just
this
following
is
that as
really
well. I'm doing
difficult.
two
I'll
things
get
at
hold of
one
you
time.
now.
Okay.
So let's say they go through the design, then after that, after MCO only, you start the work through, or how does it go? If let's say now we want to book with you, and then after that, you do up the quotation for the furniture, for the construction and whatnot. So how does the process go with this kind of situation at the moment?
So, on my speaking from my end as a designer, I don't think I'm going to be having much of a change. But what I need to give my clients is what they wanted before all this happened. Actually, right now, the ball is in the court of the client, whether the client wants to actually fork out that amount of budget to actually buy whatever that I advise them to buy, or
even now, actually, you can proceed with the purchasing you can book already.
I can proceed with the furnishing if my client is all good to go. I can proceed. But I had a chat with a couple of my clients as well, and I said, even though we can go ahead and do that, but I really think it's best we wait until this MCO period. Because even if we go ahead and buy the furniture right now, I usually go shopping with my clients. I usually take them to the places where I get this, my orders sorted out. I want them to experience this whole, buying furniture with them. It's a fun process actually, and they get to touch, feel, and also. I really want them to go and experience that and then order. Because, Nana, as you and I know, when this is all over, even you're not going to be getting your lead time to buy furniture is not going to be 45 days or 60 days. It's going to be more than that. Factories are reopening. China just reopened. Do you know the amount of backlogs that they have, and then we coming with new orders, so there's going to be a lot of time. So don't rush the process. Design now. As soon as everything is over, breathe in a little bit, and I'm going to sit down with each one of my clients, and I'm going to understand what they need and where are they standing in terms of budget, and we will tailor it and fit it according to them. Because I'm sure things are going to be difficult for them as well. So whether my design work, to answer your question, whether my design work is going to go back to normal, yes. My design work will go back to normal. However, how my clients are going to, react to it in terms of react to my designs, whether we're going to go full 100% on it, that's up to my clients. But whatever it is, as an interior designer, our jobs, we don't finish in 1 month. You see, we go 3-4 months. Sometimes hotels take about 4 years to build and all that. Right. So I'm not going to disappear for them, so they can always call me back, when they can. So that's
like it's more direct for furniture suppliers, I think, because like for us, we still need to, like, because my workshop is in Jakarta, we still have people working for us in the workshop. So the only thing is that is not too bad for me in terms of expenditure during this lockdown time is because most of our workers they are not permanent, so we do take them, but we've been ordering from them we've been getting them to work for us every month, you see, so it's been non-stop up to now. So we will still try to, let's say whatever pre-orders that we get for new items and things like that, we still continue. but the workshop is getting a bit full because the items can't come here. So we're just waiting for the lift where we can at least move. We know that the caution will be for a long time. This is not going to be after 2 months, we're going to just go back to the shop and then, people can come and buy and everything. I do not think that's going to happen in a short period of time. This is going to be a long time because everybody has got to be very careful and everything. But thank God for, for us, because we deal with like the product itself. Thank God that's online, and we've been doing it online all the while. It's just that that you would know, for all people, that you want, the thing about furniture is you want to touch and feel, right? So that's the only thing that you can't do for now lah.
For sure.
So apparently, so apart from that, we're quite okay lah. Thankfully, we've had we wanted to actually expand our storage this year. So good thing we've put aside money for that. So that is now we're using that to sustain lah. So like for your firm, how is it? Like what kind of expenditures are you actually? It's like the thing that's hitting you this 2 months.
I must be very honest to you and to everybody. From the time I started doing this interior design, from the time I started my own show and company and all that, I just never had the time. And truth, I never had the time to go and scout for an office. I never had the time to go and scout for a place where I can set up everything. But what has happened in my situation is I've got a lot of great suppliers who actually have a particular room for IDs, like people like me to come in and spend like 4 or 5 hours with my clients. So for example, if I were to take client A to go and purchase a couple of pieces for a living hall, I get to call up my suppliers. I get them to prepare. I get them to prepare my space, and they will usually got cookies and coffee for my clients.
Okay.
So I turn it into a day workshop.
Right.
So
because rightfully, if for IDs, I don't think you really do need an office because you're always moving around, aren't you?
I am never. I have a virtual office, but that's because for my licensing, for my mailing list and everything. But I'm hardly in the office. Even if I were to hire somebody to be there in the office, the person's just going to take appointments, and I'm still going to take my clients furniture shopping. So I've already established that mode whereby I take my clients shopping and I meet them at various furniture places where they sit down for the day. They feel all the fabrics are there, all the materials are there, everything is there for them to feel, touch, and you can have all the Q&A in the world, sort out the pricing, sort out the timeline and everything. And also, it's good that the client get to know where their stuff is coming from. You see, some designers do not let the clients go to the end place. I prefer not to, because I really want my clients to see where it's coming from, because I find it as a fun process,
Right. But I think that is working out. That is working out for you. I mean, it was actually a good thing that you were scouting and you didn't get yourself a physical office, and it still works out for you. And now I think it's the best modus operandi for businesses for this kind of situation right now. If let's say you have like a full-blown shop with especially eateries, I tell my heart bleeds for F&B.
I tell you,
we've got a lot of F&B customers. I tell you, oh my God, my heart seriously bleeds for them, because I know they've got so much overheads and everything, and this kind of thing. This kind of situation, I feel, right, like in our generation. I don't know if you're in my generation, you look young, but anyway, the what you call it, like my grandmother, who's still alive, she went through the Japanese, when the Japanese came to occupy the country, and then they chop people's head off, and then that dark times. I think this is the new era, where this is the new war during this generation, and it's actually, if let's say you sit down and see how people manage their business during this time is actually really, really interesting. Like, I personally feel I underestimate millennials. They come up with so many creative ideas to try and, like bring up their business online and everything. They're very, very what you call it, very active online. They
They're
come
very
up with
spot on.
talks.
They're very
I know,
spot on.
right? They just come up with posters and everything. Every day you see new things that are coming out, and you look at the business. It's F&B. It's like all those simple things that people can't go to anymore, and they're delivering it online. They're coming up with all sorts of ways. It's actually interesting to see how they try and revive back their business. It's hard time for everybody, I would say, but then it's just those little those little businesses like that is actually surviving, I think, right now. That's doing much better than before. I think masks and sanitizers.
Who would have thought?
Right. I know, like the pharmacy, right? Once the last time before all of this happened, people were lining up in the pharmacies. I was wondering why like the line is so long. Oh, that time it was 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock they were going to restock the sanitizers. It's insane.
Yeah. So coming back to where we were about our overheads and all. So I'm pretty lucky that I don't have much overheads because I run this whole show by myself. It's been like that. And I'm not too sure whether it's going to be like this after everything is over, but it's always been a one-man show with me, and I'm very used to it, and I meet my clients get to know me, they see me, they don't see anybody else lah. But there's also pros and cons to it. There are many times I burn out because the demand is great over there. I've got tons of clients to see in a week. I wish I could segregate it. I wish I could have somebody. I wish I could have another Sheeny doing it. But obviously that's not going to that's not workable lah. You're never going to get another person to work like you. So it's been me all this while. Overheads are low. Many of my friends, in fact all of my friends, they've always, whenever I go out, I sit down and talk to them, and I say, oh God, it's about time I need to get an office, because I've turned one room in my home to be a office. Home office. But I've got so many items stocked, my stones, my fabrics, the wallpapers, everything, it's becoming a little cramped, and I need to share sometimes with my husband's, sports equipment and everything, which is driving me crazy. And I've always thought, should I or should not? But now that everything has happened, I'm kind of glad that I didn't.
When things like that happen. I know exactly what you mean. My shop is 2 minutes away from my house. That's why I'm at the shop. So it's
talking about your shop. There was one question on that I was going to ask you. It says here, how are you managing your boutique? What about the rental situation in your boutique? Are you able to sustain, and how is that working out for you?
Okay. Let me show you visually. This is the shop.
Yeah.
Okay, it's closed now. So there's this small area for display. My customers know. Okay, and then the storage is at the back here.
Okay.
So right now it's mostly empty because after we've not been able to so we've got this one shop lah. Initially we were at another shop that is like 1/4 of the size of this shop. So we moved here in November. So we've only got this shop actually that's operating. So right now we're still able to sustain because we've actually put aside some funds to actually extend the storage, in fact, because sometimes when we get orders for projects and everything, we don't have enough space. And then projects usually when they come to us, they basically want the items, like let's say 30 chairs, they want it yesterday. So
it's always like that. It's always like that.
Because
timeline? No, we want it
right. Because when they work with, let's say, ID and everything, right? They want the space to be ready first before they order the furniture. You see, when like, let's say IDs like you would know, you would tell the client, you know what, if let's say if it's handmade furniture, rotan and whatever, you guys, you have that everything planned out, and then you will show them, and that's the difference between, having an IDs, having an IDs and without having an ID. So a lot of projects sometimes they use, they do it on their own. They want to shop on their own, so they will wait until the whole building is ready. So they think they just pop in and okay, I want 30 chairs, I want this 140. So when can you deliver it? Okay, then we'll ask them, when do you need it? Oh, I actually need it now. The place is what, and then my opening is next week. So I'll be like, so we were actually on the way to try and get more storage space for that kind of situation. So at the moment, we'll just hold it and wait till we're able to lah. So we'll see how that goes. For the time being, our overheads are actually basically just maintaining the shop. So a lot of our staff, we take them as and when we need them.
Right.
So for the time being, we do still try and get jobs here and there for our drivers and things like that lah. Yeah.
But I think we should put this out there to public. Is that some people, they don't understand how this entire furniture ordering comes about. They think that when for example, we use a dining chair as an example. When you want to buy a dining chair, the ID will take you to the boutique. We will discuss. We will touch the fabric and sort out the dimensions and everything. And usually furniture makers do not carry the stock. For example, if you see one dining chair that you like, chances are they're not going to have 8 of those.
That's right.
They're going to have 15 of those.
Yes.
What they show you in the showroom is a prototype.
Exactly.
With the prototype, you can change the color, you can change the design a bit, you can change the structure a little bit, and then it takes something called a lead time, 45 days to 60 days sometimes.
That's right.
That's sometimes clients don't get that. They think that when they enter a boutique, you will get 8 at the moment that you have. You see one, but you have 7 at the back in the store.
Correct.
It's not that way,
That is exactly right. Like you see, that's the thing. That if let's say a customer were to come directly instead of dealing with IDs, like IDs would know all this. Like customers, we need to tell them like, okay, if let's say for example, like these chairs. Let's say you want these chairs for your what you call it, for your restaurant. And then also first of all, before I start that, sometimes like clients when they come in, they look through Pinterest or they look through Google and everything, right? So they like a particular chair, but then maybe it fits what they want for their restaurant, but it may not necessarily be tough for public use. So when they come here to Rotan Lot, we will try and recommend we will try and ask them because what do they want to achieve from purchasing this certain design and whatever. We will actually go through with them because if let's say macam they buy like a certain chair that is really pretty looking, 2 weeks after, right, we will also check, their restaurant macam mana and everything. Sometimes after a couple of weeks je, the chic here and there and everything. Because some chairs are made to be fancy, even that, it's Instagrammable. So like, then it's not like, if let's say if it's for a restaurant, we'll ask them, if let's say you want this kind of chairs, if there's this thing about restaurant style, like I always tell my customer, kalau katakan like let's say people who sit, you don't know how they sit on that chair. So those with the iron rod legs are usually tougher than most. It will last longer. So it's up to you. Correct. So if let's say you want like this color, this design and whatever, so we will actually try and cater. If let's say you have the numbers, we try and cater for to make sure that the chair will last for public use. So that we may change the design a bit and things like that. So come to us. We'll have a talk about it lah. I'll run through, because there are many chairs that's been sold in restaurants and in public places and everything. So you test them out, and then we will actually let you know. But you've got to tell us what you're going to use it for. You see?
But Nana, sometimes I also tell my clients that whatever that you see on Pinterest is not going to be available here locally. So this is what I faced through during design, and it's normal lah, because it happens to every IDs here. We are often given images from Pinterest.
Yes.
Like, okay, Shini, oh, I love this furniture. I want this here. But most of the furniture, it's not available locally here. But we can do a similar one to it. It may not be exactly, the same one as what you sent me. So one of our challenges that we face is always telling client that, hey, what you see on Pinterest is all nice and good, but we may not be able to do it exactly. But here's what I can do. Even if I cannot give you this piece, this is what I can do. It's equally nice,
Yes.
You can settle with that.
That's right.
So at some point, I always find it. I always have to educate my clients. Hey, listen, Pinterest is all good, but at the end of the day, this is Malaysia. Our stock is this much. Unless you've got a over-the-top budget to order it overseas, and for example, to order it from UK and whatnot. And most of them, Nana, 50 to 60% of the fabricators in Europe, they don't ship it down to Asia.
Yeah.
They don't ship. And even if you want, you fly there, you pick and choose, you arrange your container, or sometimes you need to share your container with other makers and bring it down here. But here's the thing, they will not be responsible for any damages that that it's incurred.
That's right. That's right.
Really, do you really want to go through the entire process of spending 100,000
That's right.
on a piece of furniture and going through the heartache of bringing it down here?
Correct.
It's
Correct. Unless you're really familiar, then by all means go for it. Like for us, right? Like we always tell the customer, if let's say you want a certain design, you're very particular of how, and I understand that position. Let's say you want a particular design, a particular look for your space. Give us the time to make what you want, and then you will get it. Don't if let's say you come to us at a very short period of time, you will jeopardize the quality of the work, because everything, especially Rotan, everything is handmade.
Yeah.
So we do need the time. So if let's say you want what you want, give us the time. Have the design all planned before the place is ready, or when the place is partially ready, give us at least a month or two. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to ask any question, please feel free to ask. Then since we're here, so we can just slip it in. So so that is it. Like for us, the process is basically, let us know how many you need, what design you want.
Yeah.
Better if the ones that we've already made, so that we don't have to go through the R&D of trying to make a whole new design. But if you want a whole new design, if there's the numbers, then it's fine, because we can actually allocate people to make your design. So that's why I can just put aside, get one or two people to do just your design and do your amount of things, and then the rest can continue to do, our own collection lah.
I always believe a rush in design. I always believe a rush in fabrication shows in the product when you do it. I always believe that when you rush the process, somehow it transpired when you do staging, or when it arrives to your site. It shows, That is something that it's going to be an ongoing process. It's not going to be something that clients know or understand overnight. This is going to be a continuation where we need to tell them, hey, we need time. This is all about time. You can't rush a good design. It is point blank. Let's just keep it clear.
Yeah, that's right.
So there was another question that I wanted to ask you is that, okay, you mentioned already that you're taking orders during NCO, that some clients still. And there's one question where you were supposed to ask me about contractors, fabricators. Oh, yeah, how are you continuing the design from work from home and all that?
Yeah. How like at the moment, is it?
Yeah, with contractors. There is a question here saying that now that you can't work with the contractors, furniture fabricators, how are you continuing your design works from the home? So my contractors are basically being bums. They are definitely going to kill me after this for saying that. They can't do much because I need to finish my side for them to move. So they can't do much, sadly, and I feel for them as well because they have workers to pay. Foreigners are still relying on them. So they still have to continue their daily wages, all that. So for them, I think it's.
The new announcement was like, if let's say there's any projects with deadlines or something, does that apply to you?
So what I understand from this whole thing is your project has got to be 90% completed.
Right.
Then you can go back and complete the 10%. But you're not, I don't think you are allowed to start a new project. You can't do it. And you have to apply and get your submission approved before a contractor can go back to site. So I believe there are a couple of restrictions that they have placed, and you need to adhere to all the restrictions before you can go back to site. And it's limited. You can't go back for everything. It's going to be a limited thing. So I want to state that also is creating a bit of confusion, because it's like the government just said, okay, contractors can go back 90%, completed, you can go back. But what about machineries? What about materials from construction? If most of our counterparts are going to be closed, how are you going to go back and work? Okay, hardware stores, in hardware stores opening, that's not enough. My contractors or my big projects, we don't buy stuff from hardware stores. Ours is third-party suppliers. Like metal guys,
Right. And they're not operating now, right?
Yeah, so they are all closed. How are we going to so
it's like you're cooking but then not enough ingredients.
Yeah. Itulah pasal that night kan, when the government announced ni buka, I was like, whoa, like does that mean that I can go back to work? See, I fall under PAKA. Interior designers fall under PAKA, but we're not. But interior designers is not listed there on the list. PAKA perunding, PAKA landscape and all that. So again, I can't go back to site. If I can't go back to site, that means my contractors can't go back to site. So it's very sketchy lah. It's very all over. I still don't get it until now.
Yeah. I think the whole situation is just new to everybody lah. Anyway, when the government wanted to release those, being able to open the hairdresser and the workshops and everything, I think even want to release those things also, they are like, takutnya after the numbers will go up balik and everything. Even Singapore and China now, after opening, their numbers started going up again, isn't it? Their cases. So it's difficult in that sense.
I don't think anybody is prepared. I don't think anybody is prepared how to deal with it. Here's what is interesting, and I thought of sharing it with you, is that I'm not too sure whether you agree with me. There is no textbook available now for us to figure out what's going to happen. See, before all this started, there was going to be, okay, this is what you do, you can plan out your work, you can plan out your projects. Now, for some reason, you won't know what's going to hit you when you go back to site or when you go back to work. Only when you go back to work, you will then know what you will be faced outside. So this is where you cannot predict, you cannot plan. You just need to do your best and take it as it goes. So there's going to be stumbling blocks. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things that you need to do. So I can no floor plans is going to, no design is going to help if it's not going to work with the situation that we're going to face when we go back lah. So overall, during this MCO thing, what we gathered, it's not really taking a toll on me as yet. because I'm still designing. Clients are still wanting to do their homes and all that. So for you and me, it's not as bad as how some have it. For example, you just mentioned just now, you don't have permanent staffs, which means that you are not lawfully, you need to pay them.
Yes.
You just pay them as and when the shipment and the delivery happens. The same thing goes to me. I run my show by myself, and it's always been me. But then there are so many interior designers out there, furniture makers out there. We just talk about our industry lah. They have a huge office, and they've got to pay all the craftsmen, the sub designers, the entry levels and all that. Salary in a month, they need to fork out about 20k. Now, if there's no projects, there's no construction ongoing, the head designers don't get to go to site. Macam mana nak bayar, salary and that, right?
So, that's right.
So it is going to be a big hit on us, but it depends on individually whether how are you prepared to sustain your overheads lah. That's what I think it's going to happen. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and some of my design gurus, suddenly 2 months they can't go to office, and they need to fork out pay cash to pay salary, and some of them have like as much as 15 staffs under their payroll. And then when they go back to it, when they go back after this whole MCO, how are they going to make up for all what they paid for, when there's no projects coming in?
That's a good point actually. Like, after this MCO, what do you think will be the new normal of how you're going to work? How are you going to work after this MCO?
There is no textbook to it.
We'll just
I know what I've been doing before, and I'm going to continue doing this after,
and see whether it works.
Tweak it around and see how it works with the new norm lah. I believe people are still going to be doing their homes. I believe people are still going to be designing. I believe people have bought houses before the MCO, and I believe people need to, do their carpentry, buy furniture and all that. Takkan lah you want to move into an empty house. And, I'm sure they're still going to be there, but people are going to be thrifty. People are going to be, they are going to just do what they think they can do. They're not going to go over the top. That's where we have to be prepared that whatever that we design and give them on our design, work on our 3D, we may need to substitute it with something else without compromising the quality of it lah. As an entrepreneur, I think we're coming to the 3 more questions before we end this. As an entrepreneur, what is your worries after MCO is lifted? What are your feelings, anxious, scared? Tell me your thoughts, and how will you cope with the new normal?
I think we can. I can basically wrap that all up in one answer. Like, I think after this MCO, if anyone were to ask me like how I would feel after MCO, right? Anxious or scared or whatever. I think for everybody, I think it's all the feelings in one. You don't know whether you want to feel excited, you don't know whether you're going to get scared, because all the while, you don't even know this was going to happen. Initially, there was influenza and everything, right? But everything became okay after that. Even the haze, remember, the haze got so bad, we just stayed at home, but everything just went off after that. This is not going to just go off. I think this is going to take a long time to go off. Having said that, you do not know how it's going to affect everybody else. I don't know how it's going to affect my customers. I don't know whether when MCO is over, which we do not know when, right now I feel like it would at least probably be, this is my own prediction, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but to be safe for the time being, I think Ramadan and Raya is coming. That is scary, because everybody wants to see their family during Raya. It'll be such a tragic thing if you can't see your family. So I can imagine everybody will be seeing, if this thing is still around, I won't be surprised. It's gonna be at least maybe after Raya, maybe, I don't know. So by then, I do not know how job situations are. I do not. This is just being very frank about it. We do not know how. We're trying to be positive, but then we have to know the situation first. So the scared, anxious thing, yes. So you don't know how customers are going to, customers buying and everything. But for right now, at the moment, I still feel positive because I think a lot of people still are employed and they are at home, and we
Working
do get
from home.
working from home.
is the new norm.
Exactly. I think that's a good thing. Even for one of the good things about the MCO is like my children are starting to do things online, which I think the government have been trying to introduce for a really long time, and now it's actually happening. I think that's wonderful. So we embrace the new norm. So for the time being, what I'm trying to do personally on our side, we are trying to bring everything online. We're actually doing up our website. We are updating new collections and everything, since my factory is still working, but there's only very few people. We only allow very few people in the factory at one time. So
Because you're practicing social distancing and
yes, we
yeah.
for that area we have to, because if let's say we stop operating entirely, that means that for this orang kampung there's no income at all, which is not
And it's very
good for
sad,
them. It is. So
Very
it's a
sad.
serious thing. It's either you starve or you go to work risking having that disease. So what we do is we just try our very best to make sure that they stay away from each other, they do their own work, they do their own weaving. We try our best lah, because at the end of the day they still need to work. So so that's what we are doing. That's our new norm. So we're trying to embrace it. We try and bring everything online. Hopefully, everybody will get on board with this new normal.
Our last thing is that how do you keep yourself inspired during lockdown? Now, I was reading this book from AD. Let me just show you. This is like the Holy Bible of Design. This is AD lah.
Right, AD.
And this is actually a limited edition. It's 100. I think it's like what you say, 100 years. AD at 100 a century of style. So there was one there was one thing that they mentioned in this, is that about interior designers, right? When to answer the question on how do you keep yourself inspired during lockdown, most people think that helping others realize the home of their dreams can be a 24/7 job. A typical project takes years to complete, with hours of shopping, conversing with clients, and to be honest, it's sometimes very compromising lah.
Right.
So you think when an ID goes back home, you might think that the last thing that the ID wants to think about is floor plans or color palettes would be the last thing a designer wants to think about. But people like me, and I'm sure there's a lot of IDs out there, when you go back home and turn it off, when you turn off from work, that does not mean your brain stops, your mind stops.
No.
So it's like a 24/7 job. So can you imagine now, during MCO, with so much of time, between cooking and between being a maid to everybody in the house and all that, you have extra time on your hands to figure out, to understand the design world better, to understand your concept and theme. Because you see, Nana, what we need to understand is design. Back then, 20 years ago, it's either you have classic, modern, vintage or whatnot. But today's design, you have hi Mibilahi. Okay, so today's design, there are so many subs to a modern. You have modern transitional, you have modern contemporary, you have modern that, you have edgy, you have modern retro. There's so many to it. So it takes time to understand and to study what needs to be done. And I'm sure for your furniture as well, this is where you find time to figure out.
Definitely. We've always, I've personally always complained that I don't get enough time, because we have to deal with the kids and everything, and then we have to go out to open up the shop, and then you do a lot of physical work before So now
Yeah.
we've got a lot of time to actually, this website thing that I was
Yeah.
about to do has been pending for a long time. So this
Yeah.
is my time to actually do it up.
Yeah.
I did not expect to have that much time, but then
Yeah.
that's what we have now. And then we are still, we're still just trying to be positive and everything. We're going to come up with new collections. We're trying to make it, we're going to make it exciting. I think it's we're going to have to take this as an opportunity lah, to make something
Oh,
different.
Nana, by the way, I must tell you, I love your separator. The one that I think, yeah, I think
The
it's
divider.
gorgeous. Yeah, and in
Yeah.
fact, I'm using that for a project in Auckland that I'm helping a client build. So I've got some of that inside there. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's so edgy, and it
Yeah.
definitely works with today's current style. And a lot of my friends, I've had some friends who've actually bought from you as well.
Yeah.
And they are very happy with the
Oh,
setup.
I'm so happy that they're happy. It's this kind of things that I miss before.
Yeah.
Because you get to send it off to the houses, and then after that you get back pictures without even asking
Yeah.
sometimes, and
Yeah.
you see their homes are like, so like when you send the Sean chair. So I'm happy you like